whoever you are, wherever you are. I hope you are blessed and doing safe. If the place to be right now is the place with me here on channel Jives 2786, I know I screwed that up. The place to be is right here with me on channel Jives 2786, Gavin Richard, Facebook on Gavin Richard, and on Twitter at Periscope, GavinRich2786. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you are blessed and doing safe. We have a host of topics to get into today, ladies and gentlemen, including celebrating Black Music Month. Today marks Michael Jackson's acquittal on child molestation charges. That was over 16 years ago. Hard to believe it was that long. Also, we'll be talking about remembering Medgar Evers 58 years later. Moist Lamont Hill attacks Bill Cosby for browning points, and a host of other topics as well. Even some other gay reparations, talks about that. Wherever you are, wherever you are, I hope you are blessed and doing safe. But before we get started, we want to pay some dues and take a quick break. So please, ladies and gentlemen, tune in and enjoy the tunes and download. Got to get on up. The latest single on iTunes, Spotify, and Apple. Let us begin.
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat, cause on the dance floor is where we're living. Show them what you got. Gotta feel the groove. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on. Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, start to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something up. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up. Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind, and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop or do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, start to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something up. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up. Now 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you're breathing, you're achieving. So if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll feel the groove. Get on the floor. Get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, start to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something up. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up. Gotta get on. Come on, baby, gotta get on. Baby, feel the groove, get on the floor.
All right, we are back live. We are live. I'm coming at you with 5. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Gavin Richard Presents here on channel GBoo2786, on Gavin Richard, on Facebook at Gavin Richard, and on GavinRich2786 if you're watching via Twitter. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you are blessed and doing safe. Right now, we're going to welcome a guest because I told him I didn't want to keep him too long to talk about a certain topic. Please welcome fellow attorney out of New York, Andrew P. Jones. Andrew,
yes, Gavin, I'm here. I appreciate the invite.
thank you for coming on at the last minute. I wanted to. How you doing, my brother?
Well, you're disturbing my Nets game, and my son is here. We're enjoying your company.
All right. Well, I won't keep you long for the Nets game. Is it halftime right now?
No, he just started. No big deal. I'm just joking with you. But I may have to go. I'll stay on as long as I can until my wife and my daughter come.
All right. Well, don't worry. I'm not gonna keep you too long, man. But I did want to, I guess, talk about a couple of things. First and foremost, everybody who's not familiar, Andrew is a lawyer out of New York, and Andrew, you practice is it corporate law?
I do litigation. I'm a litigator.
All right. Andrew is a litigator means he goes in court.
Long and short, right?
Long and short, yeah, he's the one that goes in battleground in court. Me, I'm the everyman. I go to court, I settle, I negotiate, I do everything because it's just me and my law firm. So, and just licensed in New York, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So we have a host of topics we're going to be talking about, Andrew. In particular, I will get you on. Uh, the month of June, as most people may not be are aware, it is Black Music Month as well, and we're celebrating Black Music Month today in history. This was marks the 16th anniversary of Michael Jackson's acquittal on child molestation charges. Back in June 13, 2005, Michael Jackson was on trial for nearly 14 charges, including, I believe, 10 counts of it was about 10 counts of child molestation, including extortion and child abduction. There were also 4 additional charges for uh, 1 additional attempt of child molestation, 1 count of conspiring to hold the boy and family captive, and 4 counts of intoxicating a minor to molest him. So 4 counts of molestation, 4 counts of intoxicating a minor, 1 count of attempted child molestation, 1 count of conspiracy to hold the child and his family captive, and conspiring to commit extortion and child abduction. This trial lasted for over 4 months, and jury selection began back on January 13, 2005. And Michael was acquitted on all counts, all 14 charges. I'm a close friend of Tom Mesereau and Scott Ross, who are actually the lead attorney and the private investigator in that case. Uh, and, of course, Black Music Month. I mentioned that because that was this is Michael Jackson is innocent hashtag day as well, so we could put that in there. Michael Jackson acquitted. You guys in the chat who are there, put that in there. Michael Jackson acquitted. I remember when I was coming home from this case. Actually, they did not allow cameras in the courtroom. They did not have. I guess they were press that were present in the courtroom, but they tried to avoid this from becoming another O.J. Simpson case where it wasn't. But I wish kind of that they did that as far as allowing the cameras in there, because then we could have everything recorded where everybody saw what was going on. Because with O.J. Simpson, we can still go back and look at everything that happened instead of relying on the media and press, because what they tend to do is distort the truth of things. And even with this, with Michael, I remember E! News had a recreation of the trial every day.
Just to jump in real quick. because you bring up a big point. I can't remember. Diane Diamond was her name. She was
Yeah,
the famous attorney. I forgot who she worked for at the time. And
it's on Current Affair on one of those gossip stations. Yeah,
yeah, and
yeah,
she lied about the case every single day, um, and she got away with it for people who weren't listening hard, uh, because it wasn't televised. And she lied about the trial when Jackson was killing it in the courtroom, Jackson's team. She would just lie about it every day to the point that when the case was over, that woman basically was fired. And she never worked for whoever anymore. Matter of fact, I've since never heard of Diane Diamond,
right.
because she lied so bad during that trial. And in part, media wise. Uh, um, Randy Jackson used to have post up two real cheap websites where he would give updates every day about the trial that was so effective that other media other than Diane Diamond took would look at it every day and keep abreast of the case in that way. And I think part of the reason why Jackson won was at least the media part of it was because of that website.
That's Diane Diamond right there. I think, well, the other reason Diane Diamond was responsible for coverage of the Jordy Chandler case. That was the previous child accusation that Michael had in 93. And she actually, if you look at it, she interviewed a freelance writer who claimed that he interviewed a boy saying that Michael molested him, his nephew, molested Jeremy Jackson, Michael's nephew. And she was interviewed on a morning show hosted by Roger Barley and Ken Mignard, where she repeated those claims, and to have the video. However, it was proven that it was fabricated. Victor Gutierrez, he lied. And Michael sued Gutierrez and won a $2.7 million slander suit against him. He also filed a suit against Diane Diamond for $100 million for slander and Paramount Pictures Corporation. And she worked for Hard Copy. I said a Current Affair, but there were so many. And
Yeah, it
yeah,
was so many. Yeah,
Current Affair, Hard Copy. I can't think of the other one. What Inside Edition came on? I think later. Yeah, man. But Inside
yeah.
Edition is still on. Yeah, but
But by the way, I hate to digress over you. The reason why they push these crazy cases against black celebrities, they make staggering amounts of money.
oh, absolutely.
Staggering amounts
Barry,
of money.
Barry Gordy told Tom Mesereau when they had lunch after he got Michael acquitted. He went out with him and his family and said, you just cost the national media about $1 billion. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Because they were
Yep.
going to show Michael Jackson in prison. They were going to have specials, TV specials. They were going to have uh, movie deals that they made, like what they did with OJ. And that's,
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
Yeah. I never forget because I'd never see anybody ever do what they did to Michael Jackson. The right before the verdict, man, they did a show about the cell. This is how deep this got. They did a show about the jail cell, not the prison cell, the jail cell that they were going to put Michael Jackson in. The jail cell was filthy, but I had never heard of anybody going to that extreme of going to the jail. Talk about the jail cell that they were going to put a person in. Much less a major celebrity. It was just you talk about corruption. It was unbelievable, you know. And just to add one point, because I may have to go real soon, but I want to say this: as you were queuing up your show and you did your beautiful intro, you said something about the Michael Jackson case, and the parallels with the Cosby case just really hit me
right,
because both of them had out of control, zealous prosecutors who threw all caution to the wind, who threw all requirements of the DA out the door just to go after these celebrities even though the cases of themselves were documentedly weak and outrageous, and were likely to be thrown out.
Right. And I mean, people that testified, listen, the guy who's claiming Michael molested him now, who did the Leaving Neverland documentary, Wade Robinson, he testified in his defense and said he was never molested and he was under heavy cross examination. Uh, they were prepared by the defense. He was put on the stand. I mean, he testified for hours.
Yeah,
And
it's so amazing.
right. If my point being now is the power of money, the love of
Hmm.
money, they say is the root of all evil.
And
Uh,
fame. Don't forget the fame part.
Well, there's actually two sides. It's fame and fortune. There's have and have nots. Because when we talk about Black Music Month too, let's not forget we have a lot of artists like Jackie Wilson and the Funk Brothers, the Little Richards and so forth. Some of whom were made millions in terms of records that they sold, but never got the money from it. The Temptations, the
Uh, you
there's a
this
fame,
one,
and they
yeah,
got fortune.
yeah. This is the biggest part of that is intuitively in the music industry, you wouldn't believe that you can make something and then turn around and not make any money from it. But the record industry is designed that way. And remember, in the 30s, 40s, and 50s is really the early years of commercial artists really coming in and making money off of their music. And so many artists, I used to do entertainment work for a little bit. They are really naive at how much business is in the record industry and that contracts are written to rob you. And so
Sure.
you have to go in from day one being smarter about record industry than many artists were decades ago. And you can see it now. Younger artists, and really, you have to give them credit, open their eyes and they're not falling for their crap no more. And this pandemic has brought light how much many artists are being robbed with the streaming business.
Oh, most definitely.
And
Article.
I've yeah, and the artists ain't taking it laying down. I tell you something, record companies gonna find themselves in a heap of shit. Excuse me, suing with artists because many of them they are not taking it. They know their worth now,
Right.
and they are not taking it laying down because they make especially black music is a huge driver of American commerce in many ways.
Yeah. Well, let me say this. I just saw an article on the BBC about artists that have died, not died, broke, excuse me, artists and some of the biggest songwriters who are actually doing Uber and Lyft driving because they are not getting royalties and they've been getting ripped off streaming companies. I have my own music publishing company. The song you heard was a song that I co-wrote with a friend of mine. Got to get on up, and I've been working trying to get obviously make more music and push more for myself because I want to own everything that I create, and be independent of stuff. And
Yep.
you can make millions from the music industry. Music is the largest import in the world in the United States after drugs. We actually, the black community, should be
You mean
owning.
you mean
Right.
export? You mean export?
The large, it's the largest I meant to say export. Yeah, thank you. It's the second largest export, and we don't own it. We don't own our record companies that we have are now in the hands of corporations. But on this date, I wanted to just remember Michael Jackson because he is the king of pop. He honestly, his music, uh, everybody still listens to, and every
Yeah, I you did a interview the other day with the Trek, and you had invited me on there, but I took the COVID shot. I got sick, and you talked about uh, him. I wanted to mention about that his publishing deal. How much I think they robbed that estate of on that publishing deal. Michael
yeah,
owned half of the Sony ATV publishing. Everybody
right.
gets these things mixed up of how much or what he owned. What he really owned brought to the table was the Beatles catalog,
Right. Well,
and
the ATV catalog, and then but the Beatles were included in that, right?
yeah, but the Beatles catalog, and they were so hungry for that Beatles catalog. His
Yeah.
lawyers were able to negotiate a really lucrative deal where they merged the Sony publishing with his with the ATV, because he brilliantly kept his own music out of it. And so he only owned half of it. But when the estate sold it the other now about 3-4 years ago, after he died, they only got $700 million for it, which I don't know how they placed such a low value, because uh, if according to them, the combined Sony and his portion of Sony was only worth $1.4 billion. Are you kidding me? Uh, uh, Hedge funds would have paid triple that if they were buying it, or
Mhm.
quadruple, if not more. And ironically, I don't even think you could get a 10% of that Sony ATV right now for $700 billion. So I've always been shocked at how low that value of that publishing. I mean, granted, publishing is really counting pennies in order to make money as far as income, but it's a stream of income that's unlimited. Has a it's a
Right. It's a
it's it,
license to print money, and I knew of. Let me just stop you too right there, Andrew. Michael owned not only half of Sony, but when they merged that, according to Dick Gregory, they also offered him the ABC catalog, which contained 93% of country western music. So Michael owned Dolly, not only the Beatles, but Dolly Parton, part of Garth Brooks's songs catalog. He also owned Nat King. We're talking about the black artists. I have actually seen videos online. The reason why Michael bought that too, there were countless black artists that were in that, like Little Richard.
yeah,
He had,
yeah. I remember Little Richard admitting that Michael gave him his rights back.
he did. He gave him back monies, back monies for that. He gave Sly Stone back
Yeah,
money. Because Sly was homeless. Sly has
I,
been
I, yeah,
Sly is
I know. Yeah, he was living. I think it was either
This is
Connecticut or, yeah, I think it was Connecticut. He was homeless, living out of a car or something like that.
living out of a
And
trailer. And
yeah, and
Michael
he
gave
he, he won a $5 million settlement, but I doubt if he got much money out of it after legal
right.
fees
And I
and
mean he
other expenses.
and I know he probably he might have even had, of course, abused some of it on drugs per se, but let's be real. One of the reasons why a lot of those music artists too, they offer them drugs is because if you offer drugs to them, their mind is not on their money, their mind is not looking at what they see. Uh, then
And
it,
I
then
gotta
it's
tell you, there was I'm a little older than you. Um, there's that was a time where literally white people could tell a lot of black people, not all, a lot of black people anything, and they just went with it because white people said it. And so this is goes part and parcel how that many people got robbed. In New York, I grew up in Queens, and Queens is a large homeowning community where a lot of black wealth is tied up, and many blacks lose their homes. And literally, the dumbest white person could walk up to them and offer them the silliest money to buy their homes, and they would just give it away, just like that, and often without an attorney. And they don't even ask an attorney. And it was terrible from the 70s, 80s, 90s, even 2000s. It's gotten a little better. People have gotten wiser to it, but still, they give away too much valuable property. And I say Queens, but it's all over New York City, and I also know it's also true for the rest of the country. But having grown up in New York, I'll emphasize what I know the best. And this is the kind of
let me
silliness that we got to get out of.
Well, yeah, most definitely. Have a lawyer present when y'all signing these contracts. But some other songs Michael owns too. A lot of people don't know this, but he owns the rights to the Christmas, chestnuts roasting on an open fire and Santa Claus is coming
Really?
down. That was in that catalog, yes. So
So
Christmas
how did
music,
how
very
did they
lucrative.
just sell that estate that his portion just for $700 million? I don't understand.
Well,
It's
I
so
mean, because well, you have to ask the attorneys that because the families aren't controlling the estate. The estate is controlled by John Breaker and John McClain. And my understanding is Michael fired them initially, and however they were brought back after he died. I don't know what was going on with that. There have been questions about the will that he had, whether it be
I,
an authentic or
I
not.
want you to be clear on what you just said. You said the lawyers control the estate. That's actually not true.
I said the
They
estate
Yeah, no, hold on. I don't. People
doesn't
need to be
control
clear.
it.
They are the executors of
They're the executive of
the
the
will
estate.
and the trust. And I think there's a trust involved, which is not public, so we don't know the terms of it. And you have to be careful with what we tell people because we got to be clear what it is. They're the executors on the will, and the beneficiaries are the children, as far as we know right now. Then there's the trust, and we don't know where the trust because the trust is private. However, I say that to say because
But we don't know
the
if the
ben-
children are getting that money though either.
huh?
We don't know if the children are getting all of that money either.
Well, I from public information that I did see that they're getting a sizable amount of money, but there's been hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars made, if not billions. I think it's over $1 billion, if I'm not wrong, and billions more to be made. And I say all that to say the children, at any time when they want to, they can challenge the executors off of the will and take it over if they want to. However, it'll be kind of tough because you have to show that they did something wrong and that you have the acumen to take it over. And I think it wasn't an accident that the oldest boy just got put on the team.
Yeah, Prince
Yeah,
Michael.
Prince.
Well,
Yeah, and
I believe he's over 21 now. So
he's not only over 21; he's a college graduate apparently, and he has a business
really,
background. Yeah, so they really they had to save face and put somebody on there um do it over. Now overall, you have to admit the executives did do a good job. My biggest complaint is the publishing deal. I didn't see, we're not looking internally on the numbers. The numbers may tell you one thing value, but I I haven't read so many deals over the years. That number was so low, it just shocked me. It
well,
just
what I'm
shocked me.
saying is that what I'm saying is based off what I have seen from family members, from what was reported in the public record, Michael had originally fired. What I was saying is he had originally fired those lawyers, and they came back from what his
Yeah, I remember that
from
they're
what
saying was
his
that
colleagues
was
have stated. So
yeah they,
and I don't know again what he may have brought them back in a private conversation or had a private meeting with them. That was his
well
plan.
based on the public
I'm
information.
getting off subject, but go ahead.
Based on public information, what apparently is happening is that he revoked that will and had another will, and nobody ever produced the other will, so they had to go with that. So be that as it may, I just wanted to introduce those points that I wanted to make as far as
Yeah, sure, and that's fine. Yeah, we certainly want to make sure we have the accurate and right information. But yeah, so we'll just go from there. But yeah, but that was just I just want to talk about what happened June 13th, this anniversary. I will talk about another anniversary in a second, in a little bit later, because it's 58 years on yesterday was Medgar Evers' assassination. But I'll talk about that in a minute. I wanted to talk with you though, because I know you got to run. Though we got to talk about Moise Lamont Hill and his attack on Bill Cosby.
yeah,
Now,
that was something else, man.
right now, before we talk about it, I want everybody to take a look at the video because we got to dissect what he said. So everybody who hasn't had a chance to actually look at it, but Mark Lamont Hill, and I have issues with him because he has a history of speaking down on a lot of our black elders. When Dr. Francis Quest Welsing died, the author of the ISIS papers. He did a scathing review on her death. She wasn't even cold. Her body wasn't even cold before he started attacking her. He also talked about Malcolm X being gay, supporting a book that was going out like that. So I have my issues with him, but I want you all to pay attention to what he says, and this is just going to be flat out ignorance.
This is such a fascinating circumstance. First of all, this speaks to some of the challenges that many abolitionists have, myself included, with the idea that prison is the corrective to all of our social problems, our social crises, our social contradictions. If prison's supposed to rehabilitate, supposed to make you better, and they have no Bill Cosby's still saying he didn't do it. And I understand, to my second point, that if you didn't do it, you shouldn't have to proclaim your innocence. Or, I'm sorry, you shouldn't have to proclaim your guilt as a condition of parole if you didn't do it. Because essentially they're going to say then that you can never get out. So if Bill Cosby says he didn't do it, then we shouldn't be considering that. Here's the problem. He did it. Not just because the jury said it, but because the evidence shows, even based on what Bill Cosby says he did, even based on his own accounts from the 60s, 70s, and 80s with Spanish Fly and drugging women, even what he was actually convicted for in 2004, all of it suggests guilt and a certain kind of perverse stubbornness that he refuses to take a class for sexual offenders. Even if it's a class that he doesn't think he needs, why not just take it? But he's actually doubling down on something. He thinks he's standing on principle. He's allowing himself to be presented as a martyr, as someone who is being wrongfully accused of some attack on black men, when in fact, based on what he says he did, he has satisfied the conditions for being a sexual predator. I'm not saying that as a personal attack against Bill Cosby. I don't care for Bill Cosby, but that ain't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about based on what the jury said. I'm talking about based on what the account said. I'm talking about based on what the report said. I'm talking about based on what Bill Cosby himself said with the Quaaludes at the parties. So it's a bit challenging for me to think about what to do with a guy like Bill Cosby, because he's clearly a threat to society. So we need some form of restraint for him, but prison doesn't seem to be a healthy way of doing it. But it's also hard to feel sympathetic for Bill Cosby when he's such a recalcitrant, stubborn, condescending, narcissistic piece of human garbage. All right.
Okay. So
Wow.
I didn't see, this is my first time actually seeing that whole video because I couldn't even finish it. But Mark Lamont Hill, there's a reason why he's not on CNN and MSNBC. And apparently he's trying to get back on there. He was completely ignorant of the facts. This did not involve Quaaludes, not this case, but yet he convolutes that. And you call Bill Cosby a threat to society at 84 years old and blind.
Yeah. I mean, and not only that, I don't want to think, because we can have a show just about the Quaaludes argument alone. I mean, how many people have to tell you it was a party drug, common for the day, no big deal to have it. I don't support doing drugs, but people have taken casual drugs all the time, whether you like it or not. When I was in high school, it was weed. Weed did not come back. Actually, junior high school was weed. Weed did not come back in a high way, to the point that they've legalized it or legalizing it across the country. Heroin was once a casual drug as much as it was illegal. Cocaine was a drug of rich people in the late 70s. I mean, Studio 54, why it got so famous was that you went there to go do your illegal drugs, which was cocaine, by all the rich, famous people. Calvin Klein, Liza Minnelli, the list so long that you can't even believe it. That's where they went to do cocaine.
Right.
Studio 54, that's one part of it. You went there to be debaucherous. And debauchery was gay sex and cocaine.
Right, but talking about what he's saying.
I'm just saying that the Quaaludes is such a lame argument.
No, but let's stay on that. The Quaaludes were not involved in this case, period.
Absolutely. It's not, and they couldn't even use it.
They could, well, they used his deposition against him, which was illegal, which is why he's appealing it. And that's why you appeal, Mark, when you have an appeal going on. and you could possibly get out without admitting guilt. Well, I sure as hell would not admit to something I
Absolutely,
which
Gavin.
his lawyers told him.
That is a
But
huge point.
But Maurice Lamont Hill is such a fucking idiot. Excuse my expression. That he's a big Tom, a coon, and I'll say it. I have no problem saying it because the man has said so many things against our elders, and you're attacking somebody based on evidence, and you're not even a great journalist, dude.
Yeah, no, I want to say this because I wrote this Facebook.
You're not even a journalist.
He's an academic, and he's not even a law, but he was a professor at a university level. Right. And at that level, you have academic writings that you have to write where you support your arguments with documents and what have you. His commentary is so far from research; it is just memes straight out of the mainstream press, which is unsupported. Furthermore, I maintain that if you want to be lazy about it, at least watch the appeal to the Supreme Court, which unusually the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania put it on video, which in my humble opinion, from I heard that, I knew all from there they wanted to let Bill Cosby up because they never, on any circumstance, will put that on video. Which you said earlier in Michael Jackson, they wouldn't put it on video because they want to hurt him. But they put that on video for the world to see. In an appellate case, that is so. I've been practicing law 25 plus years. I never heard of that.
Well, look, never happened. I mean, look, I was surprised. I mean, go back to when OJ had a parole hearing for a damn armed robbery. They put that on live. That's because they wanted to get ratings, and they also wanted to make sure he got locked up. That's why they had Geraldo's ass. Geraldo, I got punched by the Klansman's ass outside the prison in Nevada, talking smack about him. But what you had here, it wasn't well researched what he was saying. Cosby didn't even admit to drugging women. If you read the actual unedited deposition like I have and we have researched, he was asked several times, did you give it to any woman involuntarily when you bought these Quaaludes? And he said, absolutely not. No, that is not illegal. If you take
let's back up a bit, because one of the things with them drugging women that people forget is these were adult women. These are not minor children. To say, the one of these that is the argument is the argument misses the forest for the trees. These were adult women. He didn't give them drugs on the force. They were adult women who making adult decisions, and whether he gave it to them or whatever, they took it on their own without duress. Okay. And as you know, in contracts, if you sign a contract without duress and as an adult, you are bound by that contract, whether it hurts you or not.
Right.
So this argument that he gave women drugs, even if it was true, these were adults. The constant woman was in her 30s.
Right, and she's changing her story. She's got a book that's coming out. All of this too is time, because the appeal decision should be. I mean, it can happen at any moment. It's been well over 6 months.
I maintain that. As you know, the courts they used to shut down, but now they just go into like a summer less season, and I maintain that by the time the end of the month, they should make a decision or release the decision. The decision's already been made. They're going to publish their ruling by the end of the month, which should be any day now. Just like the Supreme Court does the lead its biggest cases to the end of the month that are controversial. And the Supreme Court has given, Pennsylvania Supreme Court has given indication, if you watch the video, that they were not happy with what occurred in the Bill Cosby case as far as Bill Cosby was concerned. It was extremely favorable to Bill Cosby. I mean, you saw it, you did a show on it. It was incredibly
And I did
very
a complete live stream panel with on my channel and on Nicole's channel. She had myself, Drew Story News, and Ron Hurd. We were all on there watching what happened. And when I was listening to it, I was cheering the whole time because the justices, I mean, the Chief Justice actually walked off while the prosecutor was talking.
Yeah.
He cut his camera off. The other justice was like, the female justice was even shaking her head.
There was one. There was, I think it was 2 or 3 female just there. One of them was shaking her head, and the highlight to me was when the prosecutor came with his foolish argument about how he drugged women and his wife was knocked out.
Your audio went off, Andrew. We can't hear you. Okay, guys, we are live with attorney Andrew Jones out of New York. I can't hear him right now. It seems like he has some audio problems. But I can see you. We can't hear you. I don't know if you pressed mute. I see what it is. If it's your Bluetooth, I don't know if your Bluetooth went off. We're going to try and see if we can get him back. Andrew, if you can hear this, try and come back on. Just sign out and sign back in by using the link that we had that I had sent to you in the box. But yeah, essentially what happened with this Bill Cosby case and when Mark Lamont Hill is concerned, you can see that he is clearly biased, and that is a problem to have in mainstream media. If you know why we started New Black Media, is because we were sick and tired of both sides, whether it was Democrat, Republican, left, right, it's all part of the same bird. Left wing, right wing, it's all on the same bird. We demand, and news media should be unbiased and call things for what they are and how you see it. That's how I do these things. Clearly, yeah, you're right, Tyree. Yeah, thank you, Jaleel. Yeah, that's what's up. Clearly, yeah, he's trying to get his job back on mainstream media on CNN, but CNN won't have him back because he talked down on the Jews, the Israelites out. The Israelites said they did not like that. Let me see if Andrew's back on. Okay, Andrew, I think I can hear you now.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right, great.
But yeah, but Mark Lamont Hill, he's trying to get a job back on at least on MSNBC if he can. He can't go on CNN because he talked bad about Israel. So now
it was worse than Israel. He talked nice about Palestinians. It was real crime. That's even worse than talking bad about Palestinian Israelis. He had the nerve to say the Palestinians were human.
Yeah, but that too. But I mean, he's a straight up sucker for mainstream media, and doing his best. That's on the Black News Channel where he was. But I do not have any respect for Mr. Hill. You know,
well, Gavin, I want to digress with you a little bit. It's not an issue of respect or knowledge or even like him. I don't have any opinion about him. However, his commentary was emotional and fact free. And as an academic, remember, his thing is that he's on TV as a journalist to make money, but his real background is in academia. He was a professor at somewhere in Philadelphia.
But I have no respect for him because of what he has done. And you may not be familiar with, but when you disrespect someone that just dies, and I'm talking about what he said about Dr. Francis Cress Welsing and Malcolm X, that's where I lost respect for him.
Yeah, you know the mainstream media. I didn't hear to think about Malcolm X, but you know that the LGBT crowd has gone as far back as thousands of years to call people gay and have not a shred of proof of that. And we now,
right.
yeah, we openly now believe that Alexander the Great was gay and what have you. And you know what? He may or may not have been, but we don't know. This is not a part of the documented history. He had a wife and he had children, and so did all of the other guys around. If they were closet homosexual, who knows? And yet they openly make that as part of their mantra. You know, they've gone back and said that a couple of guys in the American Revolution were cross dressers and transvestites. I don't even know how you could make these claims. You know, but they do.
They do it even with Saint Joan of Arcadia. Saint Joan of Arc. They a couple of years ago tried to show her as a lesbian, and even if she were or had homosexual tendencies, the fact that she is a saint, especially in the Roman Catholic Church, is that she overcame those tendencies because as a saint, and this is just, I'm not trying to get into religion or anything, but what they
No, no,
believe.
no. Let me tell you something about religion is a part of a history and a legitimate part of any conversation. It
Sure,
is
but
one of the things. It's one of the worst things they do in the United States. Talk about the separation of church and state. Um, that's for organized that you have organized religion. That doesn't say you can't talk about religion. That's why you have with God we trust on the currency.
right. Well, you have freedom of speech to talk about it, but what I'm saying, just for purposes, is what you're harping on is that that person, even in our faith, is that you overcome even those tendencies, those sins that we talk
Right,
about. That's how you become
and that's the
a
and
saint.
that's what
But what you
and
have, wait, let me finish. But when you have people, so when you have people like Mark Lamont Hill and Mark, I think the guy who wrote the book was Marning Mabel. I think is his name, Manning Mabel or whatever his name was.
I think
Uh,
it's Manning Maribel.
Manning Maribel. Yeah, that's him. And he writes that book on Malcolm. Malcolm is okay. Here's what we know about Malcolm X. He was a devout Muslim. He loved his wife. He was happily
Very much, very
had
much.
6 daughters.
I thought it was five, but you know he had a few daughters, no
Well,
son.
he had twins. I know
Right,
two,
right.
two are twins. I thought he had four before that. So I don't know how you could come to that conclusion that Malcolm was swinging both ways. I think it was inappropriate to do so. And his family,
Hello.
yeah, I'm here. His family didn't like it, and I wouldn't like it either if someone said something about my father like that. So I don't care how you try and justify it. So as far as it goes with him with the Bill Cosby thing, what I see is someone. Yes, he was very emotional. What I see from a lot of the entertainers and comedians, because I talk to people about the Bill Cosby case all the time. It's an issue. Andrew, are you there? Okay, Andrew's back. I still can't hear you. I'll try and bring you back in. But what it is that it's an issue that people cannot get over the fact that Bill Cosby was critical. Like when I listen to Raj from What's Happening talk about Bill Cosby when he was on Hip Hop News, when he was talking to those two brothers, they were talking about, or he was talking about how Bill Cosby wouldn't even acknowledge him on the set of A Piece of the Action. When Sidney Poitier asked him, "Hey, come congratulate the kids," and Cosby didn't want to be with him. And you know what? Bill Cosby could very well be an asshole. A lot of celebrities are assholes. The whole United States are filled with assholes. If that was the case, you know how many? If being an asshole was illegal, if being an asshole was illegal, half the country would be on death row. Hold on, Andrew, I gotta add you.
Thank you.
Okay, I was just saying, yeah, if half the country would be on death row. Your phone's on your lap.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry about that.
Uh, I was saying half the country would be on death row if it was illegal for people to be assholes. You can be an asshole. The question is, are you guilty of what you say they are. That's the purpose of the Constitution. So what I look at Mark Lamont Hill, I saw, and I relate that even with Earthquake, because when I listened to Earthquake talking about Bill Cosby on Vlad TV, it was more, he thought, yeah, Cosby did it. He did it. Look what he tried to cancel Def Comedy Jam. It all goes back to something he said in the 90s.
In my comment to the doctor's post on Facebook, everybody who you see him attack him, is because of something he said or did or that they wanted him to do, and that's why they hate him. And if you know anything about the black community, man, when people are mad at you, they go berserk, and
Right.
that's what you see with Lamont Hill. Again, I go back to, he is a professor and an academic, and that commentary is not by somebody. I believe he has a PhD, right? I believe so.
I believe he has. I don't know what he has. He probably does.
Yeah,
believe
so
he
at
has.
least he's
He has
inspired.
a PhD.
Yeah, if you got a PhD, your commentary on a subject that you're trying to persuade the public should not be so emotionally driven as that commentary you just posted today. That was
Well, he's
that.
more specifically, he's a teacher at Temple University,
Yeah,
which is
right, exactly.
Bill
So you know,
Cosby's alma mater. Yeah,
yeah, and a board member. He was a board member prior to all this crap happening. He had a lot of influence in Temple, and he gave a lot of money to the school. So you
right,
know it's something personal with him and not to do with the facts.
right.
Um, and to me, the laziest thing you could do to find out about Cosby's case is really watch that oral argument for the video. I mean, I don't know how you can watch that video and the court perform and then sit there and say, "Oh, he's guilty," because 7 justices looked at it and they were like, "I don't think so."
And they
I
didn't
mean,
talk about that. He didn't talk about that.
because he didn't watch it. He didn't watch it.
Or if he watched it, he just chose to ignore it. Yeah,
You
one
know,
of the
there was 2 big facts that was on there. Matter of fact, it actually dealt with him drugging the women, because they had 5 bad character witnesses, which is one of the big issues on the appeal. And the court said, "Hey, I don't think you should let these ladies on there. They have no proof, and you can't convict a man based on accusations on other hearsay issues. You have to convict him on what the allegations are about." And they weren't happy with that. And they also were. The other issue was the his non-conviction, non-prosecutorial agreement that he had with the other prosecutor, and they opened up and said, "Hey, you got to be able to rely on an agreement with the prosecutor." you know, and so you can't sit there and say, "Oh, he's guilty, and he's guilty because the evidence said he was guilty." Well, what was the evidence? It was just her saying it. There's no other evidence.
yeah. Well, he admitted it. Well, if you looked at the depo, he obviously didn't. He didn't admit that. But yeah, it's all a big ploy, man. It's and they're
Well,
gearing up. Well, they're gearing up because that case could very well be overturned, and that's why you're seeing a lot.
exactly, Gavin. You're so accurate and so on point. The ruling is any day now, and as you can see, there's a mountain of attacks on Bill Cosby because, frankly, you and I don't know whether he's going to win. We feel confident based on what we have seen, but they're not confident either, and they're actually really not confident at all, to tell you the truth, because the paranoia that has come out of with Constant came out the other day. Now him and who else? Several other people. So they're not confident about the conviction standing because they know it's not on sound ground. It's definitely not constitutional.
Right. Yeah. So glad you came on. As can you stay on longer, or you wanted to talk?
Yeah. I can stay on for a few more minutes until my wife and daughter come.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, definitely, we're gonna keep monitoring that situation. But yeah, it could come at any day now. I wanted to talk about this because yesterday was the anniversary of the assassination of Medgar Wiley Evers. Most people who know of Medgar Evers, if you are familiar with the movie Ghost of Mississippi that came out in 1996, that was directed by Rob Reiner and starred Alec Baldwin as Bobby DeLauder and Whoopi Goldberg as Merle Evers, the widow of Medgar Evers. People are familiar with the situation. Evers was assassinated outside his home back on June 12th, 1963, who was a member of the White Citizens Council at the age of 37. Medgar was a veteran of the United States Army, as well as his brother, the late Charles Evers, who passed away actually last year at 97 years old. He was a native of Decatur, Mississippi, World War II veteran who fought and one was obtained the rank of sergeant, was actually in the Battle of Normandy, and fought to get African Americans to register to vote. A party and ceremony. This is Medgar Evers for those who don't know. There was a ceremony that was held outside his home, which is considered a national historical landmark. And we actually have some pictures from the ceremony. This comes courtesy of Channel 16. We're going to show, I guess, it's a video of it right fast. So, this is a picture of it. So, and interesting enough, this is outside his home. Interestingly enough, he was shot on the day that John F. Kennedy was reading or talking about his plans to introduce civil rights legislation in Congress. So this comes from courtesy of Channel 16 out of WAPT. States that on June 12th, 1963, Medgar Evers was shot and killed in the driveway of his Jackson home. Saturday, friends and family gathered in the same driveway to remember him. Medgar Evers represented greatness and put his life on the line for all of us. Albert Sykes stated. One woman who grew up in the neighborhood of Evers said she comes to the ceremony every year to remember him. She said he spent his life fighting for civil rights. Medgar Evers did so much for this city, state, and actually the country about public service. He is the epitome of what a servant should be, Regina King stated. Make sure we combat inequality in all forms among all races and not in the violence that is happening in this world, and especially in Jackson. Rena Everett said, I believe that is his daughter. The Evers family, when we remember Medgar, we remember what it took and makes us want to continue this fight. Chandra Cottrell said. The Evers family said they hope to continue to honor Medgar's life every year by fighting for equality for all. Let me show everybody a picture, though. This is outside Medgar Evers' home where he was assassinated by Byron Della Beckwith, if I could find the photos. This is his house. And you can see the plaque right there. And that's him at his funeral. They put the American flag. He's actually buried in Arlington Cemetery. He was given full military honors.
I wasn't aware of that. That's very good.
Yeah, special shout out to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, but I gotta go soon. So, but I want to say this.
Okay.
Medgar Evers, I'm from Jamaica, and I've been here since 1969. And from I'm here, I've always been hearing about Medgar Evers. But I do want to say this: since I've been in this country, every part of this United States has a Medgar Evers, a man or a woman who has put life and limb on the line in the battle of racism in this country. And black people have been under attack.
Andrew, let me cut you off 1 second.
Go ahead.
Put this asshole out. Schleitz Nights. Proud of me with autism? No. Put him out. Sorry. I'm sorry about that. We get trolls here all the time.
You know how people are. But I just want to say that this all over the United States, there's been a lot of men and women like Medgar Evers. And he's just he should be used as more of a symbol of many black men and women who have been killed and shut down. And this is why we are so weak in the United States, even all over the world, honestly, because the fight of racism and is a worldwide fight, and why black people are exploited, because it's very, very profitable to take away and keep us away from what the wealth that we generate and have. And that's what it's all about. It's not so much a hate thing as it's to take it away from us or what we have. You know, a lot black people used to own, as you know, a lot of land throughout the United States, and they took it all of that away, lots of it, and they're still trying to do that. You know, they don't want the whole music industry and many of the other things that we've created in this country and throughout the Americas. And that's what this is all about. It's not just a hate for hate's sake. It's a hate for a purpose, and that's what we have to remember. There's a purpose behind the hate. You know, so it's an extremely sad story that Medgar Evers saw, but he's just a symbol of what a lot of the history of this country.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And at that time, 1963, that's when Mississippi was burning.
Yep, yep. And to this day, still one of the most racist states in the United States.
Yeah. Well, we remember Medgar Evers, his work. I know that his brother actually passed away last year, Charles Evers.
Yeah, I recall that.
Right, who was a champion of civil rights as well.
Yeah,
Dr.
I got to tell you, his wife was always a very impressive lady. You talk about dignity in the
Yeah,
face of adversity, man. You can't believe it. You know what I mean?
right. She fought. She's still around. She actually fought to the very end to secure, justice for her husband. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
you know, at that time,
And
Mrs.
I
Evans.
remember she got married to another man and still kept that fight going for her, man. I respect both her and the new husband. That's a hell of a thing to see your wife still fighting for another man, but that was an important battle, and it had to be fought, and she did it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they had. Yeah, she did. They have 3 children together. I would fight tooth and nail till my child got justice or my loved
Her
one.
husband, her husband.
Her husband. No, I'm saying me. Yeah, I mean anybody. Anybody
Yeah,
that I I look a little autistic, motherfucker.
don't pay him any attention, and I don't. My son is autistic, and uh, when people are reduced to that kind of commentary, they stupid. They really stupid. So don't pay him any attention, man.
Okay, moderators that are no, but my moderators, when you see these people in here, y'all need to be on your game. You all be, Janelle Jenkins. No, I'm gonna expose you all being an ass. You don't ask. You don't mention stuff like that. That's all right. I got it.
Gavin, you're gonna have to get your lawyer background and get in and just ignore them kind of slights. You know, they're vicious, but you got to ignore them.
Well, it must mean I'm doing something successful here, because when you get trolls, all right, asshole, I got you there. No, it didn't, because they're on the other channel. They're on the Gavin Richard channel, so that's where that's coming from. Because I saw them in the comment section, so that means I'm doing something good. But no, I just block them. All right. No, but that's nothing funny.
No, it's not. That was not.
If you're gonna troll me, at least be funny with it. Danielle asks, "What's your DB?" All right, that's coming from the other channel. I'm doing okay. Stop being an asshole, then. Okay. Well, we're gonna continue. I'm gonna continue with the channel and show. Then you gotta run, Andrew.
My wife's not here yet. What's your next topic? Are you still on the Medgar Evers?
Okay. Well, the next topic I was going to talk about, there's actually this was Brother Bernard who actually sent this. Brother Bernard sent me an article that there are talks even about someone wrote this article talking about reparations for LGBTQ. There was an article that was shared. This is coming from foreignpolicy.com. Now, of course, as the talks for reparations have grown louder for Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, as a result of slavery and also from Jim Crow, apparently now, and this was written on May 29th, I actually read through it, but there have been calls for reparations for LGBTQ. The United States lags behind many other countries in making up for its abusive past. Here's why and how to fix it. So I was going to talk about this. This came from a gentleman by the name of Omar G. Encarnacion, who wrote this and essentially is making a cause for homosexual citizens to be given rights. The policies hardly compromise a homogeneous experience, and they do not entail giving people money simply for being gay, as some suspect. In most countries, gay reparations are limited to a government apology to the LGBT community for past wrongs and a promise to do better in the future. In others, they have entailed memorializing the victims of state-sponsored repression of homosexual citizens. So he's talked about the government opening a monument to gay victims of the Holocaust, an unknown number who perished in Nazi concentration camps, many of the victims of gruesome medical experiments intended to eradicate their homosexuality. Well, a lot of people don't know, too, there were some even hidden homosexuals in the Nazi high ranks of the Nazis as well.
Well, the thing about the term Holocaust and is that we've had many Holocausts throughout the world history. They're not uncommon, where one group has oppressed another group in another way. This thing about gay reparations, uh, I don't know how you could say it was a governmental prosecution. I don't think you can make that argument. You have this is a social issue.
So the other asshole, okay. Go ahead, Andrew. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this issue about LGBT is how a society functions. What do we are we going to call acceptable? Um, we now because a lot of rich, very powerful, and I say white men are backing and pushing the LGBT. This is not a true social movement that's from the bottom up. This is from the top down that's being forced on us. However, it's here and it has to be addressed. There's a judge his name that I can't remember. He comes on TV. and he's not off TV now. But he said that LGBT should be treated like as a gay lobby because of and have all the rights and restrictions of a real lobby, because they don't allow true commentary on the issue. And so they do things and are allowed to do things that are that people object to. And we need to have a real conversation about where we want the country to go. You
Yeah.
know, this is about sex, and sex was for adults. They say it's natural. I don't see where the scientific proof of that. But let's have a debate. But don't attack people and destroy people for when they don't agree with you.
Well, okay. I'm gonna have to. You know what? I'm gonna let it stand. I'm not shutting down my channel for these trolls, but wherever my moderators are, if you subscribe to, let me make this announcement. You're subscribed to my channel, uh, Gboot2786. I need you to subscribe to my channel, Gavin Richard. And look, this nigga can't even spell. And you need to start blocking these trolls that come in. Okay? Moderators, get on your job, please. All right. Look at this. Look at your mama. All right. Look at my head. Yeah. Okay. That's a good one.
Listen, gotta go.
Uh, well,
Right.
no. Well, before you go, let me just respond just a minute, right quick, to what you're saying.
Yeah.
What you're saying is, I think, is 100% right. In regards to how others are treated, especially if they have an opinion on it. If you speak out against it, you can be fired. You can
Let me
lose
just
your
finish up
job.
2 minutes.
You can lose your job. You can lose, your credibility. Anything that has happened now, they certainly are very powerful people, and that they were actually trying to debate talking about this in the 70s when they removed it from the American Psychiatric Association's DSM-3 at that time. Uh, there was no scientific basis for removing it, but they went and protested and forged credentials to get the mailing list and so forth of all the psychiatrists throughout the country, and they were able to get it removed. They were supposed to have a debate on it, never did. So we're actually past that point now too, because it's basically become a point of what we call, someone made this point of calling even homo fascist, because my goodness, if you speak out and say you don't support it, you're going to be labeled a hater.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And you can see how it's treated on TV, treated in government. There's no debate. It's ipso facto. That's how it is, and that's the way it is. And we say so. Tariq Rashid always said the best. It is this way because we say so, and that's the end of the argument.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll let you go, man. I see Derek Trapson and Derek Johnson have still trolling here. Look at his head. Uh, the mom saw mines. Drew
All,
Johnson.
all right then. Yeah, we'll talk later. Okay.
All right, I appreciate you coming on short notice, Andrew. I appreciate it. Sorry
Yeah, I
about
appreciate it. No problem.
the
I
interruptions.
enjoyed it. All right then. Talk to you later.
All right, thank you. All right, bye. Our movie. Okay. This broke ass Justin Bieber motherfucker. Drew Johnson. I know that ain't even your real name. Okay. Dickheads are us. That's what this is becoming. All right. Well, if I have this many trolls on here, that means that we're doing something good. But certainly when I was talking about the LGBTQ reparations, what we were discussing, I saw this. This was from Brother Bernard. This came from him and caught my attention. And this is a time when Black Americans are asking for their reparations and we don't get them. Other groups are getting it. I had an argument, well, a discussion with a colleague of mine, and he stated earlier that the reason why blacks are not getting it is because it had to do with a issue with regards to us even killing people, like we killing each other. Like, how can others give sympathy to us if we can't respect ourselves? I strongly disagreed with that sentiment because when we have situations like when we look at Asian Americans getting reparations, you look at from the Japanese internment camps, you look at what's happened with the Holocaust. Every group of people, Jewish members of the Jewish community, especially those affected by the Holocaust, have gotten reparations. Here's the issue with that: those same people kill each other on a same notice, just at the same level of Black Americans. Blacks kill blacks, whites kill whites, Hispanics kill Hispanics. Yeah, you're too ugly. So there are questions about it. The reason you don't have those wondering about wrenches on those channels, I don't have the channels obviously live streamed at the moment because it's live streaming now, but I can add you as a moderator if you are subscribed to the channel. All right, let me see. Give me 1 second, because I'm looking on through StreamYard, so I can't, and I don't moderate from back to back like this. Oh, I got a lot of trolls. Okay. Danielle, you've been added. Tisha, you've been added. Okay. Who talks smack? Anyway, no, Rosalind is good peoples. All right, y'all got it. No, Tisha, Rosalind is Good People's. But she's on my other channel. So yeah, so what I'm looking at, and this is, I'm sure these are people employed by YouTube. I actually have, and I'm looking right now, I'm going to share the screen with everybody. I got 4 likes to 17 dislikes. So you guys look at that, and I believe that these people are apparently hired by YouTube to bring down my second channel. I have no doubt they are. So you can see it right there. Okay, so what we'll do, I didn't have much to say anymore about the subject at hand. I did want to talk about that was about all the thing I wanted to talk about because it is Sunday and I wanted to enjoy the rest of the day. Yeah, I'm trying to see where you're at, Rosalind. Okay, Danielle, all you got to do is if you see a troll or anybody, you just unblock them. You just block them. When you see a comment, you just click on their username, and you can block them like that. So, it doesn't affect me what a motherfucker says. It's their right to say what they want. They can say whatever they want. When you're messing up the flow of the show and my guests, we got a problem. If you're basically trolling my channel to bring it down further, and this is a backup channel that I use to talk about, keep certain videos up because, as you know, some content that I put up may be taken down. What's up, Northern Bell? Then we have issues. So, yeah, we got a bunch of trolls. And to answer your question, Danielle, I'm a general practitioner as an attorney. All right. But no, we're not going to let anybody mess up the flow of the channel and platform. I don't like doing that, certainly. But, at any rate, especially when you start making fun of autistic people, that's where we got a problem with. But I have family and friends who are autistic, and it's not funny at all. And you just insulted my guest who has an autistic son. So you guys handle it. Tisha, Rosalind, I think I added you as a mod. I know, Danielle, you're a mod on that channel. So when we go live next time, you see them, you remove those trolls immediately. Facebook, I think I just saw you subscribe to my law office page, but my Facebook page, it's actually my Facebook account, actually my personal Facebook account where I live stream on. So I got to create a Facebook page. Yeah, I've had other YouTube channel, Jaleel, Gavin Richard, my full name. I tell you all about it all the time. I mention it every time I come on. You guys just never subscribe to it, but that's the backup channel. Gavin Richard, my full name. So this is GBoo2786 is the main page, but we have Gavin Richard and so forth. Yeah. So Northern Bell, subscribe to it. Cool. Y'all subscribe and hit that like button when y'all are up there. There you go. Northern Bell, you're a moderator for this channel. So y'all when y'all come on, yeah, mods, y'all on your job from now on. Thank you. So I got 17 dislikes to 6 likes. That's all good. Yeah, so they were actually coming in here just to bomb the channel. So, all right. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm not gonna talk too much further, gang. But I want to thank you all for tuning in. I enjoyed doing this broadcast. I'm glad that y'all come in. Rosalind, you're not a mod? Okay. Hold on a second. I don't know what it is, but it looks like somebody blocked you, Rosalind, on the channel. You were hitting. There you go, Rosalind. You're moderator now. Smash up the likes on that channel, please. That would be very helpful. All right, Tisha, it's no problem. You good. No, it is not cool when you make fun of people with autism or mental retardation, any type of mental illness, cerebral palsy, whatever. Nothing wrong with me nothing wrong with me at all. I'm not autistic. If you're basically being an asshole when you come on this channel. I have a guest on here and I didn't appreciate it because he says he has a son that's autistic. So when you make comments like that, you not only offend me, but you offend my guest. And we don't do that. So fuck them. All right. Main thing you guys can do, please contribute to the Cash App and PayPal. You see the emails at the bottom. I greatly appreciate it. Anyway, guys, I don't have too much further. I'm going to say I'm actually going to get back to probably doing a little work. I might go to the movies in a little bit. Go see. It's 3:44 now. I might go see Meet the Blacks too. I need a good laugh. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but man, we got a lot done today. So I said I wasn't going to be a long show, but I'm glad that Andrew was able to stop by and give his opinion as a lawyer. But celebrate Black Music Month. I also want to say in Black History too, just a little note. A lot of people don't know this, but Oscar Dunn, right? Autistic people actually use more of their brain function than the average person. You're correct. Trolls are hoes. King BJ's boy said, "You talk smack." I talk smack to who? Hey, you come at me, I come at you. I do this the old-fashioned way. All right, I'm dozens all the way. I grew up on the schoolyard. I knew how to read motherfuckers now. I might be a lawyer, but and wear glasses, but don't let that fool me. Don't let that fool you. Don't mistake kindness for weakness. I may wear glasses. That's just because I can't see. But yeah, I wanted to say too, there's a day in Black history. On this day, June 13th, many people may not know about this, but here in Louisiana, a man born in my hometown of New Orleans, no need to block him. It's okay. Oscar Dunn became the first Black lieutenant governor elected to a United States state. He ran on a ticket headed by Henry Clay Warmoth, formerly of Illinois, and became black lieutenant governor. After Dunn died in office, T.B.S. Pinchback, who was a state senator, became lieutenant governor, and thereafter he became governor for a 34-year period. So he actually predates P.B.S. Pinchback. He was the who became the first black and the only black governor of the state of Louisiana, whereas Oscar Dunn was the first black lieutenant governor in the state of Louisiana. This was, of course, during the period of Reconstruction. He was a Prince Hall Freemason, Lodge Number 4. He joined Richmond Lodge Number 4, one of a number of fraternal organizations that expanded to New Orleans out of the Prince Hall, Ohio Lodge during the 19th century. He was obviously a Grand Master and Grandmaster. He was married to Ellen Boyd Marchand. We know a lot of Marchands here in New Orleans. That name is familiar. Marchands is Marchand actually is a place where you used to go and get your school pictures taken. That was the only black photographers you could think of, right in the 7th Ward. The couple had no children. He adopted her 3 children, Fanny, Charles, and Emma. The Dunn family residence was located on Canal Street, 1 block west of South Claiborne Avenue, and within walking distance of Straight University and the St. James AME Church Complex, which they were both members. So may he rest in peace, Mr. Dunn. That's a little black history for you. Well, I didn't know this, but after his death, his wife, Ellen, was appointed by the mayor of New Orleans to the position of Municipal Archives Director. She remarried to J. Henry Birch, who was a former state senator from East Baton Rouge Parish and had been an ally of her late husband. So they lived in New Orleans until, even until the end of Reconstruction, where it ended in 1877. So it's a little unknown black history fact. So shout out to Oscar Dunn. Oh, we got another, okay. Van Life Simpson Hussies. Okay. The V stands for VD. Is that the best y'all got to talk about my head? Really, trolls? You can be original. Your other troll cousins have been talking about my head for the last 20, 30 minutes. Don't you have something else you can talk about? All right, let me get on out of here, guys. But thank y'all to the new mod. Shout out to Andrew Jones. I appreciate him coming on. Thank you all for tuning in to another edition of Gavin Richard Presents. I'll be back Tuesday. I'll holla. Peace.